Hey, and g'day, welcome back, and thanks for taking some time out of your day to give me a listen. I'm your host, Darren, and this is Season 2, Episode number 14 of my Guest List Pod. And today, it's another of the interview shows. If you're new to the show, this is how it works. Each episode, I invite a guest creator onto the show, and we count down a top 10 list in a topic of their choosing. Along the way, we take breaks and ask them questions to delve a little deeper into their world and get to know them and their work a little better. If you'd like to get in contact with the show, you can do so at My Guest List Pod, pretty much everywhere you look. Today's guest is a young man from Detroit who is very talented. He's a musician, he's an actor, and he's a vlogger with a very interesting YouTube series. So we discussed that in the show, so you'll learn about that as we go along. But we did this interview back in July, but unfortunately I haven't had a chance to put it all together until now. So Imari has been very patient with me, which is great, and I did promise him that I'll do my best to get it out this week. And if you're listening to this now, then I've kept good on that promise. Anyway, without further ado, sit back and relax as we delve into the world of Imari Reynolds.
I'm in the sky as a dragonfly that's breezing by. Yeah.
Detroit-born Imari Reynolds is probably what you would best describe as a Renaissance man. A talented individual who effortlessly excels at anything he turns his hand to and does it all while flashing a broad, charismatic smile. Imari is a musician, model, and YouTube vlogger, but he is probably best known for his acting and his role in the film Old Bryce, Loyal, and Scarlet. More recently, though, he has made appearances on feature films such as A Parent's Worst Nightmare and is a series regular on Peace Be Still. With 30-plus acting credits, Imari is paying his dues and is a star on the rise. I'm eager to know more about his life and his work. As such, with no further ado, today it is my pleasure to welcome Imari Reynolds onto my personal guest list and onto my Guest List Pod.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here today.
No, it's a pleasure to have you on, Imari. We've spoken a lot in preparation for this interview, and I've done a lot of background checking on all your work, and it's a broad swathe of work in a lot of different areas. So, when I said you're a talented individual, it was no lie, and it's great to have you on. You are my first non-podcast related guest that I will put out as a bonus episode, so I'm really happy about that as well, because you're such an interesting individual. So to have that as my first bonus episode that's not a podcast, I think that's really great for me. So thank you very much for taking time out of your day to do that.
Well, let me just say, for me to be the bonus, you know how to show some hospitality, because I don't even know why I'm smiling so hard right now. Thank you for that warm intro. It's amazing. And for you to change the dynamic of your show, just for me, that really means a lot to me, and that tells a lot about your character, man. So let's have some fun, man.
Thank you very much. Yes, and definitely, let's have some fun for sure. Look, why don't we start with who you are? Who is Imari Reynolds? What was your life story? Not everything, obviously. You can give me the elevator pitch if you like. But where you're from, what was your upbringing like?
Okay, so I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I've been there about 15, actually I want to say about 20 years of my life. I've been down there. The city is the most interesting city that you can visit, but it's also a place where, from my experience, I grew up struggling with my family until they brought me out to the suburban area in Sterling Heights, Michigan. But outside of that, I was mostly into music. I was into video games at the time, different things. It was a lot of stuff I'd done, but I still felt like there was something that wasn't complete in my life, and I ended up getting involved in church plays. And because I got involved in church plays, it then introduced me into the entertainment world. and ended up leaving Detroit and coming out to Los Angeles to advance my career from here.
That was one of the things I was going to ask you, actually. I had noticed that you'd moved to LA, and I was going to ask you, you thought that was vital to you advancing your career in both the music and the acting?
Now, when I say move to LA, I have to break things down to where I start getting introduced to certain things. I moved to LA after Detroit. And I started doing acting projects. Around that time, I started having about 20 something credits on my resume, which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then I ended up moving to South Carolina due to family emergency. I've been out there, but still working in Atlanta, working around, still building my credits up. And then over time, I moved back to LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So then that's when I started getting introduced to like different avenues, especially when the pandemic happened, when everybody's forced to sit at home. You discover that you the best damn TikTok. I don't know if I can say that word. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
You discover you're the best TikToker. You discover you like to do YouTube. You discover you like to cook.
Yep.
And for me, I discovered I like to do music. I like to story tell, and I like to blog my life. So I do a little bit of everything.
No, that's great. And like I said, I did some background looking at all the work you do, and I really enjoyed the day in the life of Imari Reynolds on YouTube. That's been really good because it gives people a little bit of an insight into, I guess, the process of behind the scenes with movies and things like that. And they've been really cool, and they've been very entertaining, and they've been comical as well. And it's a lot more work. There's a lot of getting up early and stuff like that, I guess. So yeah, it's a lot of work.
That's the goal that I wanted to hit with my YouTube channel. It's like at first I was trying to do like everybody else, you know, when I seen people doing pranks and things like that, which is cool. It's funny. But for me, it's just like I didn't feel authentic. I feel like acting is really my passion. If anything else, acting is my passion. I feel like I want to show people that reached out to me before in my DMs saying that they're inspired by me. They like what they see, or some people don't have the slightest clue of how to get started with their career. And I want to set an example from my experiences. So I usually take advantage of the YouTube because I want to show the progression, because I feel like in my heart that I am going to make it big one day. And
definitely,
I want people to see the progression from where I started, you know, with the blue Impala, where I was in a tight or a sticky situation with a relationship or anything, and I beat the odds. And it's proof right there.
Well, that's a great, inspiring story. So it's the fact that you're documenting that all the way along. You know, it's great for you, obviously, to have to look back on. But like you said, it's an inspiration to other people who are aspiring actors or aspiring musicians or YouTubers, which is, you know, that's pretty much a thing nowadays, obviously.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's really trending now.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely. Yeah. Can I ask, though, now, do you have any musical or entertainment acting type influences in your family that actually maybe pushed you that way as a younger man?
My family, we are in the music world. We grew up in church all our life. My father used to play the piano. I used to play the drums. My baby brother, Carlton, he sometimes plays the piano, but we both were involved in like violin back in school and stuff like that. Yeah. So, we were always familiar with music. And then outside of our family, some of them are, SoundCloud rappers and stuff like that. So,
yeah, no, that's good. The reason I ask is, as a father myself, if, you know, it's probably confronting if your son comes to you and says, Dad, I'm going to follow acting, or I'm going to be a musician. And, you know, like, probably I come from a generation where it's like, Well, is there something a little bit more solid you could probably look at doing first?
I want to be the first. I want to be the first.
What was the reaction from your mum and dad when you came to them and said, "Look, I want to follow this. I want to do this"? They were completely supportive.
My mother, she's always been like real, like faithful and loyal to me and my brothers. Always made us feel like we can be somebody special, be somebody great. And anything, you always gonna have tough roads. I don't care who it is. You always gonna have tough roads.
Of course.
And I was one of those guys that had tough roads. We're talking about a guy that drove across the country, worked in the toughest situations. And I've done so much. I almost failed, high school at some point. But my mom, she fought, to make sure that I stay on the right path to be where I am today. So
moms, gotta love them.
Yeah.
Gotta love them.
I think she got a lot of love. And, for her to see the progression with me with acting, music, this is a new thing for her too, but she's excited for me.
That's great.
At the end of the day. As I am excited for her, because she actually started a new business, and it's a life reimagined. So if y'all want to check that out, y'all can definitely check her page out. So she's a life coach.
Oh, fantastic. Well, look, I'll get that link off you, and we'll whack that in the show notes. So anyone that wants to can have a look at that as well.
Sure.
So I've got to ask, you do a lot of things. What is your first love? Is it acting, or is it music, or is it YouTube?
Yeah, you're the third person to ask me this week.
Oh, really? Really? Okay.
Yeah, somebody asked me that.
Well, when you have so many strings to your bow,
I'm gonna tell you something silly. Well, it's not silly. It's not silly. I think this is incredible. But acting, that is my first love. I've been doing this for over 5 years. I can't let it go. I didn't let go of more relationships than I did with this acting. I just love it. But music, people want music to be the first thing because they like, I get DMs, they like my music. And it really means a lot to me because I really didn't think I was going to be a musician. I was just doing it just because I was just like, all right, I just want to make a song, just have some fun and just YouTube it.
Yeah.
And I really loved some of my songs that I made. And I was just like, wow, I didn't think I had this potential. So now I have like songs that's shelved that I need to drop that I'm ready to like put out there. But I want y'all to go stream some of my music. Linktrt.com/Imari Reynolds music. Yeah, boom, get it.
We'll have all that in the show notes for sure. And like I said, I've checked out some of your stuff, and Dragonfly I really like actually. And,
I like that one.
Yeah, it's pretty chill, so I like that. And it's funny, rap's not my first genre that I love, sort of thing, but I do like it. And I grew up in an era with NWA and Public Enemy and all that sort of stuff.
Let me ask you a question, Darren. What did you like about Dragonfly?
I liked it. It was more chill.
Like that song.
I liked it. It was more chill, and I liked the lyrics. Some of the rap that I like is like City Morgue, Killer's Army, Sauce Mulo, Busta Rhymes, DMX. That a bit harder sort of rap. But I liked that yours had and Dragonfly I think has a really nice flow, and that's what I liked about that song. Champion and stuff like that. There's a couple of others that I liked as well, but that was probably the one that sticks out in my mind. So I played that for my boys in the car too, because they my boys, my youngest two especially, they like a lot of rappers. That's pretty much this generation. They're into that sort of stuff. And
think of my song. What your sons think of my song?
That they did. They liked it. They thought it was cool. And it's hard to gauge with 13 and 14-year-old boys. If you get any sort of acknowledgement, usually it must be good. Otherwise they're pretty quiet, or their concentration span's not exactly the longest. So, but at least I was still in love when I wrote that song. and you can tell. And that's what I mean. I'm a hopeless romantic. I've been married for 24 years, together for 33 years.
I shed a tear right now.
I love it. It's an impactful song, man. That's good. I'm glad that there's a story behind it.
Exclusive on your podcast. I said that for the first time. I shed a tear. Man.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's fantastic. And like I said, that makes it even more impactful because there's a story behind that song, and it's a song I really like. So that's great. It's really cool.
I appreciate it, man. Love, man.
No, not a problem. Not a problem. All right, look, I have got you on. We are going to keep the format in terms of a top 10 countdown. So that gives us the ability to get to know you a little bit more as well. So the topic that you have chosen today is 10 most influential albums for Imari Reynolds. Yes. All right, let me just get the 10 out here so I remember what we're doing. There we go. So why did you choose this topic, say, over you're a big Will Smith fan and there was, a lot of Will Smith topics or top 10s that we could count down, or, Kevin Hart or something else that you could do. Why did you pick this topic in particular?
For Will Smith?
No, for the influential albums.
Oh, I picked that one in particular. I thought all the questions that was listed, I thought it was incredible. And I thought they were a chance for you to actually think about them too. But this one stood out the most to me because me growing up, I listened to some of these albums, and those were some of the albums that kind of helped me get through certain stories in my life.
Yeah.
It helped me understand great music. Other music is great, but these were the ones that really stood out the most to me in my period of my life. And yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Yep, fantastic. Well, that's exactly what we want because, that means that you're invested in these albums. There's a story that goes along with these albums, and it'll make it more interesting for everybody that way too, which is great. So in no particular order, let's have a look at your first one, number 10, which is Indigo by Chris Brown. What's the story behind this album?
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I'm a huge Chris Brown fan. I feel like I'm going to meet Chris Brown one day. I'm putting that out there because I said that last time about the baby, and I met the baby.
There you go. Put it in the universe, and it comes back to you.
I'm just saying. I really do hope I meet him, and we link up. But his album is so cold. I think he's a creative genius, not just a dancer-wise, but it's just like you could tell that he really puts passion into the way he sings certain melodies in his song. He go with the beats, and it's just, I feel like he's really creative, and that album right there, it made me start going crazy on the dance floor. I ain't gonna
lie. Very cool. Yeah, that's good to hear. So, what year was that? Do you remember? Because I'm not sure either. I don't know either. Was that when you were younger?
What year was Indigo?
Yeah, was that like in your teens? Was that an early one, or is that something?
One was? I think that one came out. I think 2019.
Oh, okay. So that's a fairly recent one.
Summer 2019.
Okay. Yeah. Forgive my ignorance. I'm not a massive Chris Brown fan or anything like that, so I wasn't sure. But okay, so that's something that's impacted your life a little bit later on. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No worries. All right. So what's your number 9? Number 9 is Heartbreak on a Full Moon, another Chris Brown album.
Another Chris Brown album. Come on, Breezy. Pull through, man. Second album. Let's go. Yeah, I like that one too. Some of my favorite songs on there is like Hope You Do. Summer Breeze. You got so many songs.
It's hard to choose. So many songs. Yeah, it's hard to choose sometimes. Yeah, that's the thing.
Every song you want to dance to. I know that for sure.
Is that maybe his which would out of those two, which would you say is a more complete album?
Which one I would say was a more complete album with Chris Brown?
Yeah, out of those two, so Indigo and Heartbreak.
That's a good question. I feel like he does a lot of his work. He really does a lot of his work. But I'm gonna probably say Heartbreak on the Full Moon.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of tracks on that one.
Okay, cool.
You guys, the Indigo was a good one, but I feel like he really put heart and soul into the Heartbreak on the Full Moon.
All right, look, let's break it up a little bit. Go for your next album, number 7. Now, this is Dreams and Nightmare, Meek Mill. I don't really know a lot about this one. You're going to do all the heavy lifting on this one because I know nothing about it.
All my friends back in Detroit used to laugh at me all the time because I used to. I'm gonna tell you how crazy of a fan I was of Meek Mill. My stupid tail used to be wearing like fake Dream Chaser chains and the little Dream Chaser sweater because I just thought I was a Meek Mill, whatever. But he makes a really good album. When I heard Dreams a Nightmare, I was just like, wow, I was always rapping his songs every time when I was in a hookah bar or in the grocery store, whenever he was played, I was always rapping any of his songs, man. But that Dreams and Nightmares, I remember listening to it when I was working at a factory, and I had it on repeat, and I can hear the story and pain behind, what he was saying. And when you growing from the trenches or you growing from the ghetto or the hood,
yeah,
you kind of can relate to what he's saying, So
he's a Detroit rapper?
No, he's from Philadelphia.
Some Philadelphia. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I actually had a guest on from Philadelphia in my first season. Fantastic guy, Jonathan Rosario, and they're actually doing he's part of a Block Gives Back initiative. They're trying to clean up Philly. And, there's a lot of character to Philly and a lot of history there. And, I know there's some really good rappers come out of there as well. So, Meek Mill, okay. I had heard of him before, but I must admit I had heard none of his music. So when I saw
He global.
Okay, cool. All right. Number 7. Number 7 is, funnily enough, another Chris Brown album, Royalty.
Everything I said about the last albums is pretty much what I feel about this.
All right, fair enough. Okay. Yeah. Again, was this an earlier album or a later album?
Yeah, Royalty was an earlier album.
Okay.
Now that was the reason why I like Royalty albums because that was my I'm about to go out to the bar and talk to some girls days.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm about to get numbers. And I'm about to tell everybody I can dance like Chris Brown.
Fair enough. So yeah, lots of memories. That's the thing. Music brings back memories of different times in your life, and that's why I ask about where these albums sit with you, because there's times where you're out at as a young man out at bars, just looking and like you said, getting numbers and things like that. And then there's times when you're younger, and it brings back other memories of maybe when you're with friends and things like that. So I love that about music, and that's why I was really happy to hear that you were going to do an album countdown, because as a musician yourself, I thought this is going to be really, really good because he probably has an ear and it'll bring back a lot of memories for.
I definitely got an ear. I've been listening.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. All right. So that's your 10 to 7. That's the first 4. So let's take a break. As a new podcaster, one of the annoying things I have found about trying to collect the reviews you get for your show is that Apple, for example, only show you the reviews you get in the iTunes store of the country that the review is made in. So if someone reviews my show in Canada, I won't even know they've reviewed unless they tell me. And I won't be able to see the review unless I log into that country's iTunes page. And honestly, that sounds like a lot of hard work. However, I recently signed up for a service that aggregates all of your ratings and reviews from a number of sources and displays them for you all in one place. Not only that, but they also offer a link for your podcast that automatically displays only the rating and review platforms compatible with your listener's device. So people don't have to wonder or search for how and where they can rate and review your show. Go check out mypodcastreviews.com. And I'd be grateful if you could please use my affiliate link when you join to let them know who sent you. It's in the show notes. And if you want to rate and review my show, you can go to lovethepodcast.com/myguestlistpod. Now back to the countdown. Okay, and we're back. So, Imari, I did want to ask you some questions about your acting career in particular. What type of roles? So you've played a lot of different characters and in a lot of different roles, and like I said, you've got 30 plus acting credits. What are the type of roles that you're attracted to?
Honestly, in the beginning, I went for any role that was just offered to me.
Of course,
honestly.
yeah.
I wanted to experience being on set with different actors. I wanted to experience, you know, channeling my skills, being just having that actor experience. So I went for any role that was given. And there's been times where I auditioned for a certain thing and I wasn't right for the part, and they offered me something a little bit smaller, and I was just as excited about that because it is different when you doing what you love, you know.
Oh, of course. Yeah, definitely. In that though, considering you've played a lot of different roles, what's been your, I guess, your favorite role that you've had so far? Maybe not one of the ones where you've had as much time on screen as you've had with other roles and things like that. It's just something that's been, you know, really, you've been really into the character, or you really like the role or the dialogue.
There's a lot of projects I've done, but I'm gonna honestly say one of my favorite ones that I've done to this day, and people probably look at it like a shocker, but Peace Be Still, being a series regular for season 1. I should have did season 2, season 3, but it's cool. But I love that character. I loved that character.
Okay.
A lot of times I spend hours and hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, sometimes the whole day, locking in on the character, trying to figure out what's the intentions behind it and who is he and why is he doing the things he's doing. Yeah, so that one stood out the most, cause it was just the director, Carlton Clay. He put a sex scene in there. I'd never done a sex scene before. So I had to get naked and stuff like that. So that was one element of, you know, knowing where my skills can go. And then, beautiful thing about it is, like, throughout these scenes, everybody's making different choices, and, you know, you can feel so much creative control on set. So it kind of hit different for me with that character, because it was just, I felt like Jeremiah was an easy character I can work with.
Okay, nice. You talked about the director on that show. Is directing something that you'd be interested in doing in the future, or you'd like to do?
Carlton Clay?
Yes, but in terms of you'd like to do it yourself?
He's offered me for a few projects in the previous past, but I was dealing with some real tough situations around that time, so I wasn't able to accept any roles at that time. But if the time comes, yeah, I would love to work with Carlton again. He's a really great director, man, and his vision for everything, it just amazed me sometimes. And I feel like he's really underrated. He's based in Augusta, Georgia. Okay, but is directing something you'd like to do in the future? Yeah, of course. Okay. I mean, come on now. Directed by, that sounds beautiful.
It sounds pretty good. Yeah, that's
okay. Cut.
Yeah, no, the power wouldn't go to your head, I'm sure. All right, cool. So the other thing I wanted to ask you about when it comes to movies and video and things like that is your YouTube channel. That's probably one of the first things I saw when I started looking at your stuff. And I've really enjoyed A Day in the Life of Imari Reynolds, you know, because we get a back scene sort of look at the industry, which is great. And we see a lot of your personality in those videos. That vlogging that you do, how enjoyable for you is that? It doesn't look like it's a chore. It looks like you really enjoy it. And what influence has that had maybe on the rest of your acting career?
I feel like, what do you mean?
So has the YouTube channel opened up any avenues for you in the industry? So people have seen that and gone, hey, that's a good looking guy.
Have it opened up the doors?
Yeah, for sure.
It has, actually. It has.
Yeah, cool.
It has, actually. I feel like I've always had the same people thought I was, you know, kind of talking wacky when I say this, especially when I'm talking amongst other actors. I always felt like the more videos I put out there, the more content, is hard for people to ignore me. You know, they'll see something and they'll keep seeing and seeing. And at the same time, I want to build a fan base. And I felt like, you know, with me, you know, showing other people, my content and show other directors. And I didn't have a few people that came to me say, hey, I've seen some of your YouTube videos. Let's have a conversation sometime and let's get you in one of my projects. I didn't have that a few times. So I think it's just grateful, that I'm seeing different avenues of people reaching out to me in future opportunities, So, yeah.
Would you suggest, for example, that an up-and-coming actor, a young man or woman, that they would also do the same sort of thing just to help with their brand awareness, start a YouTube channel? And,
you said, do I suggest that?
Yeah, would you suggest them starting a YouTube channel as well as, going to all the casting?
I would suggest it. There's actually a few YouTubers that I watched because I didn't just magically start YouTube, but I was watching a few YouTubers, popular YouTubers, and they obviously were doing like film, music, just you name it. And I could see where all the avenues are kicking in with endorsements and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw like YouTubers doing stuff, and I was just like, wow, I was inspired. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what a YouTuber really was, honestly. I just know you go on YouTube, watch videos, but I seen people really blogging, and I was like, I could do that too, but I didn't think it was gonna be that hard. It's really hard, honestly, because it's like, for me, I was always an introvert. It's funny, I'm an actor, but I'm an introvert. So I wasn't used to just having a camera in my face and everybody's just looking at me and they're like, what is he doing? What is he recording? Why is he recording us? And over time, I just started liking it. I was, kind of doing it with my mom a little bit in the beginning. It was like, all right, cool. But then I knew that, people were saying that we like your videos, Imari, but we want to see you do other things too, like go out and do something. So it was a little scary because it's like I didn't want to be judged, but I also thought about especially with the pandemic and stuff that's going on. Thank God that we're not dealing with it as bad, but it was just like that really hit me, man. I was just like, one day we all gonna have to leave this earth one day, and it's like, what legacy do I want to leave behind?
Yeah.
I don't want to just just leave and then that's it. I want to leave a story behind where people can watch it for years.
Mm-hmm.
Watch my life.
Yeah, you're living. A lot of people just get into a humdrum sort of role every day, and it's they're existing, but they're not living. And you're obviously, you're a busy man. You're living your life as large as you can. So which is great. And that get up and go. Not everybody's got that in them. So and to keep going. A lot of people start stuff. And a lot of people start podcasts, for example.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's not easy, but, I thank God every day for getting me to where I'm at now.
Yeah. No, it's been good on the grind. That's great. All right, mate, let's get back to your countdown.
All right.
Let's get into number 6. So I've got here, Activated by T Grizzly. So what does that mean to you, that album?
I feel like T Grizzly, like his lyrics, like you always like you always know a rapper is really good when they can really cut through like metaphors and cut through certain like lines to make you just kind of think like, oh, okay, all right, that's cool. He's very catchy, and I feel like he's storytelling. Like, and him being from Detroit, he really from the trenches. I feel like it's kind of relatable to me too, since I grew up in Detroit too. Obviously, I moved to a suburban area later on, but I still have my experiences from Detroit. So me listening to his album and knowing, and obviously he seemed like a real cool dude. He actually do streams and stuff like that. So it's just like, that's another example right there. Like, he's a worldwide superstar, but he's doing streams to let people get to know him a little better, and he gained more fans from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, perfect. So, exactly. Yeah.
I think everybody, if you have a brand or you have a business, you should probably at least try to vlog yourself and show personality. It might go a long way.
And that's why I love the stuff that you do, because we really get to see who Imari is. with your vlogging and stuff like that, which is great.
Yes.
And, I've listened to a couple of your podcasts. I think it was, something Finesse. I can't remember exactly what it was, but LA Finesse. LA Finesse or something like that. It was a young lady that was interviewing you on a podcast. It was a really good podcast.
Oh, you said, you talking about Hollywood Finesse?
Hollywood Finesse, that's it, yeah. So I listened to that show and I thought,
Felicia, yeah.
Yeah. So that was that was really good. That gave me a little bit of an insight into who you were as well. And so I didn't want to double up on questions that she's asked you. So I tried to go a little bit different in some of the things so we could bring out a little bit more of who Imari is. And
either way it goes, no matter how different these questions get, they always wind up ringing back to the same, man.
Of course. And that's why hopefully the countdown at least gives us an idea as to, some of the things you like. And we'll get to another section in a minute after we do your countdown as well. That'll give us another bit of an insight into Imari. But I haven't told you about that one, but it's don't be worried. It's all good.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. So after Activated, we have Scorpion by Drake. So what's the story behind this album?
Scorpion, I was dealing with a little situation around that time. So that album actually came out, and me and this girl was listening to the album, and even though I was supposed to spend my time with her, in my head I'm thinking, oh, this album fire. This album nice. So I was listening to Drake, and once again, Drake never seems to fail me with the way he, project, what he has to say. You know what I'm saying? So I think Scorpion was another masterpiece to add to his collection. So.
No, fantastic. Very good. All right. So number 4 we've got down here as it's another Drake album, Views.
Yeah, Views. Views was a really, really nice album. That was something that I really listened to. In Michigan, that was I want to say that's my transition stage, because I didn't know what I wanted to be. And then I ended up going to the entertainment side, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that Drake was kind of that filler for me, because it was just like when I was listening to Drake, once again, storytelling as always.
Yeah.
And, he kind of helped me get through some situations too,
Anything off that album in particular?
One of my favorite songs.
Yeah. Anything off that album in particular that's like a favorite song or anything like that really had an impact?
I was about to say, yeah, one of my favorite songs. I listened to this on repeat because I really think the beat is nice. I think the lyrics is really catchy, and I think once again Drake is he's a GOAT. But Western Road blows.
Okay. Can't say I've listened to that one. But fantastic. Okay, very good. All right, so that's down from 6 to 4. We've only got your top 3 to go. But before we do that, we're going to take another break. Okay, we're back, and we have what I call the VIP round. So I used to call it the very intense pressure round, but there's nothing too intense and there's no pressure with it whatsoever. So it's just some quick fire questions. First thing that comes to your head, I'll give you a couple of options and things like that. It's just and some of them will be odd, some will be related to the things you like, and some of the things you'll go, why do you ask me that question for? So, but it's just a quick round of questions and answers. So
you're saying you're gonna ask me some questions and then I'm gonna just have to quickly respond?
Yes. Okay, so let's start the VIP round. Usually I put 60 seconds on the clock, but you know what? If it takes more than 60 seconds or less, we don't really care anyway. We'll just get through some questions. So, all right. So, Imari, you can only work with one of these two actors, Will Smith or Kevin Hart.
Will Smith.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite clothing brand?
Gucci.
Dragon Ball Z or One Piece?
Dragon Ball Z.
Favorite junk food?
Twinkie.
Drake or Kanye?
Shit. Drake.
Beer or spirits?
Beer.
Beer. Okay. Anything in particular?
No.
No. All right, cool. Favorite holiday destination?
South Carolina.
Nice. Okay. Night owl or early riser?
Budweiser.
No, night owl or early riser. So do you get up early or you stay up late?
Let's go number one.
All right, no worries. NBA or NFL?
NBA.
Lambo, Porsche or Ferrari?
Ferrari.
Favorite watch brand?
Favorite which brand?
Favorite wristwatch brand?
Wristwatch, Rolex.
Nice. Rolly. Crypto, yes or no?
Yes.
Very good. All right, so that's it. That's the round. So it's like I said, there's not really intense and there's not a lot of pressure
to
it.
Give me something spicy.
No, I didn't want to go too crazy because whenever I'm giving you questions.
You see, I was like this.
Yeah, there was some pressure maybe at your end, I guess. You were a pretty intense look on your face. So, but you know what? I'm never gonna ambush anybody on the show. It's gonna be pretty.
I always gotta be prepared because I feel like it's gonna be that one person that's gonna try me.
No, look, it's. Whenever I'm going to give you questions on the show that I haven't given you before, sort of thing, then that goes for any of my guests. And nothing going to be too controversial. I'm not going to ask you.
That's cool. I'm having fun already, so
that's good. All right. Well, we got to know a few things about you. You know, I don't know, you like Twinkie? Really?
Yeah, I love Twinkies, man. I love Twinkies, but I have to stop eating Twinkies for a little bit because. You know, when your ribs start hurting, then I mean you eating too much Twinkies.
Yeah. No, I know the feeling.
Twinkie said no.
Yep. I'm a big chocolate fan, and I eat way too much chocolate, so.
Nothing's wrong with chocolate, bro. I love chocolate too, bro. Honestly, what really got me involved with Twinkies was that Zombieland. I gotta get my Twinkie.
Yeah, that's it. The whole movie is just searching for a Twinkie. That's it. No, that's fantastic. Yeah. No, well, that's the first thing I think of now. When I think of Twinkies, that's what I think of. Zombieland.
Yeah, so. That's what I think of every time.
No,
I got my Twinkie.
All right, man. Let's get back into the last three, the top three. Well, as I said, this was in no particular order. So we'll do the last three of your top 10. So coming in at number 3 is Nothing Was the Same, Drake. What's this album mean to you?
All right, that was my young adult days. I'm sorry. That was my young adult days. I think I was fresh out of high school when this album came out. I'm not familiar with what year, but I do remember listening to a lot of the tracks and they were mostly emotional. And it was a few girls I used to talk to back then that I was that had me simping.
Yeah.
And that was a filler for me. Drake pulled through once again for the emotional distress.
Yeah. Well, it's those teenage angsty years, I guess. So yeah. Very good.
Yeah, that's a good album. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think I have a favorite on there because every song on there was pretty good from beginning to end.
Yeah, banger. No worries. Okay, so number 2, we're looking at, very apropos, Detroit 2 by Big Sean. Now, Big Sean's someone I don't have a lot of experience with, so again, you're going to have to give me the background on this album.
I'm going to have to be honest about this album. This album is a little bit, this is new for a Big Sean album. Everybody from Detroit knows I'm a Big Sean fan. I love Big Sean's music. I think he's an incredible artist. I feel like Detroit 2. I'm gonna tell you why this is an influential album to me right now. Is because I was going through a tough period in my past, where I drove across the country for a woman I loved, and things didn't work out. Weeks later, she loved somebody else, and this during the pandemic too. I was still dealing because everybody kind of dealt with the pandemic a little differently. Brought some depression to a lot of people, including myself. And I was working a job that I wasn't happy about. I felt like a slave to the job. And whenever you feel like a slave to a job, then it's never okay, But when this album came out, it kind of brought my spirit up, because we was able to listen to music at work. And this brought my spirit up, just listening to some of the songs that, he was the lyrics, and then you can hear a story behind what he had to say, and it just brought me back to my roots of, where I came from. I grew up in Detroit, and I always dreamed of being the guy that's going to tell the story and inspire other people who always dreamed of doing stuff like this. And the difference between others and myself is I want to vlog and show what I can do and show what I've been through to get to where I am. You know what I mean? So, Detroit too definitely, played a factor in why I started gaining more confidence in getting back into the entertainment world. And it caused for me to come back to Los Angeles. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, so obviously it's an album that had a big impact on you. So that's great. That's exactly what we want from the list. And yeah, I'm gonna have to go and check out Big Sean after this because there's a lot of albums on here from him, and I've heard of him obviously, but it's not someone I've listened to a lot. So yeah, definitely I'm gonna go give that. I'll
He's
try.
one of them like spiritual type rappers.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's probably someone I'm probably going to like then. Yeah, like I said, it's I liked your Dragonfly song because of the flow, and it was a little less probably aggressive than some of the other ones, and it's funny actually because I do like Busta Rhymes and DMX and Killer's Army and those guys from City Morgue, but there's days where I don't want to listen to that and I want to listen to something a bit more a little bit more chill, and so I'll go check out Detroit too. Actually, that's probably a good album to start with, I dare say.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, cool. All right, number one. And funnily enough, another Big Sean album, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Big Sean, Hall of Fame. That I didn't know who Big Sean was when Hall of Fame was going on. I started learning about him when my friends was bumping him in the car, and I remember because Hall of Fame was his first album. He was throwing a party somewhere in Michigan. And everybody was just talking about him, and that's all I was hearing. I even heard about him having like a meet and greet at a Best Buy and stuff like that. So I wanted to know who Big Sean was. And when I listened to his music, I listened to Fire, I listened to First Chain, and Sierra Leone. When I heard those three songs by itself, I was just like, Big Sean is really good. Like, I heard Guap and I heard Mercy and stuff like that, but I still wasn't familiar with Big Sean. I just knew Kanye, and that was it. But when I heard like his album, I was just like, he's really good, man. He's really good. I'll start like playing his stuff like every day.
Yeah.
And I knew at that moment too, just looking at him, I said, I feel like one day I'll make it successful too. But it wasn't with music because I didn't think I was a musician. I was just an actor. But I was like, I'm going to put on for my city too, just like how he's doing too. And to this day, I still listen to Big Sean. I listen to a lot of his albums, and I listen to Drake. I listen to Meek Mill, T Grizzly, Chris Brown, and many more. There's many more new artists I listen to too.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. All right. That's cool. That's your top 10. And, look, I have to apologize for making you choose between Drake and Kanye before too. I know that's a hard one.
You got me slipping on that one. You got me slipping on that one because Kanye he's so influential. Yeah. I don't know why they put him on. If you gave me more, room for like top 15, top 20.
Yeah.
I would have definitely had to drop some Jay-Z and Kanye. I'm tripping right now. Lil Wayne, I'm tripping right now.
Maybe for a future episode, you never know.
Then it's just like it's like too late because it's like, dang, you just started up. But top 10, that's a difficult thing. So I think this is a really good question because I didn't think about that. I'm like, I forgot Lil Wayne. I forgot other people, man.
Yeah. But look, these guys obviously had a really big influence on you. So that's cool. They're always going to be some of your favorite albums anyway and favorite artists. So look, there's a lot that people could put into a top 10 and it's a hard choice. And I see it each week with the guys that, the people have on the show and they always remember, oh, what about this guy? Oh, I forgot about this guy and I forgot about that, this movie. I forgot about that song or that album. And so it is what it is, but it's fine. It's we all do it. So, okay. So look, I'll just run back over your 10. So your 10 are Indigo by Chris Brown, Heartbreak on a Full Moon, Chris Brown, Dreams and Nightmares, Meek Mill, Royalty by Chris Brown, Activated, T Grizzly, Scorpion by Drake, Views by Drake, Nothing Was the Same by Drake, Detroit 2, Big Sean, and Hall of Fame, Big Sean. So a strong 10 either way, even without the other guys in it. A strong 10, obviously. So that's pretty cool. No worries.
Tough decision.
So I just want to ask you a couple final questions. And then we'll let you tell everybody about all the fantastic things that you're doing. So one of the questions I have is what's coming up for you next? What's the next big role or the next big song? Or you did mention off of the podcast there may even be an album in the mix. So in the midst. So what's the next big thing for you at the moment?
The next big thing for me right now is keep creating content. That's what I've been doing. I've been actually working with somebody. I've been writing some projects. I'm actually me and we just touched on it actually earlier about me wanting to be a director. I've been writing my own scripts, trying to get everything together because I want to start putting even better content out there. Even if you ever seen Key and Peele?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I want something like that, a little bit like different scenes.
Yeah.
And different characters and different. I want that so that way I want to show people. And if people not familiar, you can follow me under Imari _twice movies. I have a lot of my scenes on that Instagram page, but I want to expand it on that page where I'm performing different characters and doing different scenes like that. So,
okay.
But outside of that, I am working on a couple projects in the future. I can't talk about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that when the time comes to talk about it, I will talk about that. So right now, everything is in the works right now. So,
okay. And lastly, what would be your advice to anyone looking to follow a career in acting or music or YouTube? What would be something you is probably pivotal to success as far as you see it?
I'm gonna be real authentic. Because everybody just follow your heart, follow your dreams. They gonna laugh. They gonna look at you different. They gonna look at you funny when you start having these dreams and ideas. Don't be ashamed because that's a part of the process. That's because you're trying to level up and you're trying to do something great with yourself. You don't owe anybody anything. You owe yourself success if that's what you want. And that's what I did to get to where I am. And I'm still a work in progress. And I feel like I'm leveling up every day. And if you see that, if you see anybody else that you inspired by, look at them as an example.
That's fantastic advice. Yeah, that's great advice, and I think a lot of people would do to heed your words. So that's great. I
hear that a lot. Just follow your dreams, but it's like sometimes people forget. I love the little form that I see on the internet, the iceberg, where it's just like. You see 10% on the tip of the water, but 90% at the bottom. Yeah. They don't know half of the stuff a person go through to get to the what top. You see. Yeah. I've been through a lot of people, congratulate me, and I love them for congratulate me or acknowledging something I've done. But it's just a lot of people really don't know struggles I've really been through to get to where I am, man. Sacrifices, let goes of relationships, people fading out of my life, friendships broken. They don't know just for this.
Yeah.
My dream.
Mm-hmm. And you've stayed true to yourself.
What?
And that's hard to do
regret
sometimes.
nothing.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Imari, I just want to say thank you very, very much for coming on today. It has been an absolute pleasure. I'll give you a chance now to let everybody know where they can actually find all your work. So plug away on all your socials and all your contact links, and I'll put all those in the show notes as well. So if you want to find Imari, you can actually find him in the show notes, all his contacts as well. But Imari, over to you. Let us know where we can find you.
Okay, so guys, you can follow me on social media, Linktrt.com/Imari Reynolds. And for my music, you can follow me at Linktrt.com/Imari Reynolds Music. And I'll also have merch. We got sweaters, t-shirts, hats, anything on there. You can go on teespring.com/store/Imari Reynolds. And I got more stuff on the way, so you guys follow.
All right, so that's it. So everybody, please go check out Imari. I've become a fan, and I'll be definitely watching his YouTube channel for finding out what else is happening in a day in the life of Imari. So again, thank you so much for doing this. You have been a fantastic first bonus guest, and it's a different sort of a format or a different sort of idea for me outside of what I normally do with the podcasters and stuff. And I've actually really enjoyed it, and I hope you have too. And I think we're going to see great things from you in the future. So I look forward to watching your progress.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy.
No worries, mate. It's a pleasure. All right. Thank you.
All right, you too. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, that's it for another week, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my chat with Imari. He's a very personable and very accommodating young man, very talented, and I'm interested and eager to see what's next for him in his career. So thank you again for taking some time out of your day to give me a listen. And next week, we'll be back to a review and recommend show. So don't forget to subscribe so that you can listen in. You don't miss any of those. I had a fantastic response to my Bright Sessions review last week, and I had a lot of people telling me that they had started the show and they're now binging it, which is pretty much the reaction I get from a lot of people when I recommend that show. So it was very gratifying on my part to hear that. So thank you again. That's about it. Thank you for listening, and as usual, I'll chat at you again next week.